Well, that wasn't a good idea. Hello, Mills here. I kind of got pulled into a project that I hadn't really planned on, except in the most sort of general sense. I wanted to do something about this basement here that wasn't really a basement at all, that had lava, and I also wanted to revamp the tree farm a little bit, so this is what I've done. Now some of this actually in this explanation is going to be a little bit backwards, especially this middle part, which I'll show you what that is in just a moment. Because there was some trial and error, mostly error. Well, no, a little bit of trial too, but ultimately error. No, maybe it was more trial than error, I think. It was trial and learning. Trial and go to the wiki and realize that I could have saved an awful lot of time. No, it's all good. It's all good. Anyway, this is obviously, yeah, it's the tree farm. Now, what I did was I abandoned this idea of having lots of saplings, because I don't really need lots of saplings. If I'm going to be here working and cutting stuff down, I'll have bone meal. I'll be doing things deliberately, and if they're, you know, slightly farther apart, they tend to spring up a little easier, I find, rather than, you know, some tree that fits the bill and fits the space that you have. All of these trees that you see here, and there are 6 of them, I believe. Actually, there were 7, but this one had to be taken down for that, which again I'll explain later. But it's not really designed for like high efficiency really per se. I mean, there's, you know, Etho of course has a great, you know, compact thing that's just, you know, very efficient. I wanted to have some of that efficiency, especially during the cleanup phase. But before I show you that, it's kind of hard to see with all this, so let me clear all this out of the way. All right, well, the trees are cleared, and walking on this little walkway here, again, in and of itself, it's a little awkward. See, it goes up and down and up and down. But that's okay. I can pick up the drops that fall on there, but for the rest of the drops, I wanted to do this silly thing here. And in fact, that's all I need. It doesn't have to be on for very long. So it just pushes everything to the perimeter. And then I go around in a circle. See, I told you it wasn't super high efficiency. But I don't know, I kind of liked it. I just kind of like the idea. I mean, you know, see Etho also for a version where he's got, you know, the bed where it's got water in 4 corners and then they meet in the middle. That, of course, makes a lot more sense. The other thing that I added to this, well, I expanded this room. I made it wider in both directions. Because I dropped the floor down to that lava basement thing that I had, it's in effect it's higher as well. So there's a lot of room here, and some of these trees that I've been getting, they've been, you know, gigantic trees, so it's kind of cool. In fact, let me go ahead and replant these so that they may spring up even as I give you the tour. Everything that I cut down, like I mentioned, happened naturally. See, now there used to be one right here too, but yeah, this switch, the magic water switch, this one is not hooked up to anything at the moment, but this one here goes down. Let's see, do I want to show you that first? Yeah, sure. Let me show you down here. Just goes down here. Again, I'm still just trying to figure out the whole redstone thing. Just follows this, ignore that stuff for now. Goes down this, down to here, and this is just the alternating tower of redstone torches that go all the way up. The water here was just as a water drop because I got tired of walking around in circles, so I can just drop down. But really, this is not meant to be accessed for anything in particular. So let me go upstairs. This is just sort of a little peekaboo access window. Again, that's where we were just looking just now, but I'm going to seal that hole up. Here's another thing I made was one of those boat elevator type things. This took me forever to make. I don't know why it took me so long, because the boats keep getting out misaligned and everything. Plus, I put the leaves there and some lumber to keep them alive as well. So, but the spacing, especially using these fences here, it's hard to visualize sometimes when you're looking at it at extreme angles like this. Like here, look at this. How far apart are the fences? At a glance. 1, 2, yeah, it just gets confusing. But here, see, now I can just click on up to the top, as you've seen in many other places. And each one of those alcoves looks like this. It has a piece of lumber, a piece of a tree, and then some leaves that I planted, and they've all stayed here. Can't go too much farther away though, because it becomes a little iffy on whether they stick around or not. But yeah, this takes me all the way up to the top. So here's a top view of that business there. And so what happens is the tower of torches will come right to here. Now this is key to my understanding of redstone torches, and it's still confusing, but you can make a torch be part of an output if it's on the side of the block. I don't know, I'm not explaining this very well, but it took me quite a while to figure out that if it was just one right on top of the other, I couldn't tap into that one that was on top. But if you put it on the side, now suddenly you have something that you can tap into. So, you know, again, I'm sure that's readily apparent, but it really confused me quite a bit. And then this is just to invert the signal so I can get that be in an orientation that I want. So this just comes over to here, and this just powers the piston, which is mounted right there. That's as straightforward as that. Originally, there was no, these fence posts were not here at all, and the water would just cascade straight down, and that was fine. The problem is that when the trees grow, the leaves and the lumber and everything will get in the way. And if I have the water cascade down at that point, obviously it's going to hit the tree, and then it's just going to go all over the place and probably just wreck everything. So I couldn't have that. That would not do at all. Hey, look, we got a tree already. How about that? Oh, wait a minute. Hold. Oh. Fences. I had an idea. See, this is the problem. If I turn on the water now, it's going to hit the tree and then spill over. So I had this idea that what I was going to do was mount sticky pistons facing up, 8 of them, underground, deep underground, and they were going to push up a stack of gravel, and that would destroy the leaves in this path, and it would push all the wood that might be in the way all the way up to a single point where I could then harvest it from that one point. I ended up going this route, and you'll see a little bit more of that experimentation in just a moment, but I see now, I'm kind of recording these a little out of order, I apologize for that, but I see now that this is not going to work, because the leaves grow through and around the fence posts. And actually it makes me worried now that I won't be able to do it with anything else like glass or even solid blocks, because is it always going to be able to go through the corner and plug this hole up here? Boink! Hey, there's another one. Well, you know what? Is it a big deal though? Because as long as it's contained, actually, well, like right now, it'll just stop at the leaves, right? Just stops. That's not so bad, because then I can always just do this to release it, like that. So anyway, so let me, I'm going to take you down under here because I did a lot of work down there that is not going to be used. So let me show you a little bit of that. And key to making that work is to have the pistons cascade in order. So that's what I was trying to set up. Let me show you what that was about. All right. Well, here I am in the insane piston pit, and I was trying to do. I was trying to figure this out with the pistons in place, and that got really annoying real fast because if it was out of whack, the pistons would engage and they'd get out of placement. So I just replaced them all with torches, and I have this switch here temporarily so that I can test this out. And there are 8 lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they should light in sequence from top to bottom. So they look like this. Boom, 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 boom. And then they should go out in that order also. And all this is that the source is right here, obviously, and I put a delay in just so that I could pan over and look at it. But every light in the chain has a repeater in it that's set to a delay of 4. Probably doesn't have to be that long, but this makes it easy to look at the lights and gauge that it's actually working. So now the task is to replace these lights with the pistons and see if that works. So I have the switch engaged in the on position, which means all the lights are dark, and I'm going to be installing pistons in their deployed position. And I've already done the first one right there. So now let me get, and I have to do them in the right orientation here also, so I have to do it from above. So hopefully this is enough of an angle like this. Okay, so those two are engaged now. I didn't realize repeaters, they have like a hitbox. They've got a, I don't know what you call it. If I walk straight into this repeater, it won't let me by. See, I'm pushing forward right now. I guess I'm hitting this post, but I can come at it from the side and it has that little slight step up. So I didn't realize that they had a collision box. So anyway, so down here then to this one, I think I can do this one from here. I hope this is steep enough an angle here. Yep, okay. Okay. I just put this sign here indicating this was 16 blocks down. So okay. It's all part of the plan. Let's see if it works. Oh no, why did it? Oh. This one should not be engaged. Oh, is this switch screwing it up? I bet you this switch is screwing it up. Right, and then this one is in front of that one. Okay, I just passed through a block again for no good reason. That's really annoying how that happens now. Jump up here. And then there's the business end. Okay, so let's jump here. And let's try this again. Why didn't... So do they not have sticky? Oh, I guess it isn't. I guess it isn't cumulative. Oh, let me investigate this. Hold on a second. I mean, I thought I already did this test. That's what I don't understand. Okay. Oh, it's that problem from before. This one, this one. This one. Oh, it only moves one block. Unless it's gravel or sand. That's what it is. It can only move one block. Grrr. Grrr. Well, a quick scan of the wiki reveals some information, as usual. The inability of a sticky piston to pull another sticky piston and the ones attached to it is listed in the bug section. I don't know if that's really a bug or not, but it basically a sticky, yeah, they can't pull each other. The other thing too that I didn't realize is that it can only push 12 blocks, so I don't think this would work anyway, because I was gonna have 13 things of gravel on top, and then I'd have 8 pistons. So that is probably way more than it could heft. So I think I'll just leave this here for now. I know where I have an array of sticky pistons if I need them, because I'm running out of slime balls also. But I'm gonna have to come up with a different plan. And actually, I think the only thing I can do to keep the aesthetic that I'm looking for is to protect the path of the water on down, and that may interfere with some growth. So that's the only thing I'm not thrilled about, but it certainly is a simpler solution. Let me give that a go. Well, this is the basic idea. I would use glass to make basically a tunnel that pokes all the way straight down, but already there's going to be some problems here, because this block here, for example, because these are there's only a gap of 2 in between, this is going to clearly interfere with at least one of those trees. Almost certainly will, but maybe not. I don't know. Let's give it a try. Besides glass, another thing I thought about doing was a corral of fences. That might be an interesting look, worth exploring. Yuck. And and I have to have it enclosed all the way around, because yeah, if I leave a gap like this, for example, all the way up, leaves can get in this gap and it will cause problems. Yeah, I don't want to mess with fire in here. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. But now this should work. Just pipe it right down the middle. Well, this is what this looks like. Looks like some kind of crazy alien or something. No, actually I kind of like the way it looks. It's fairly unobtrusive. Now, in terms of collision, of course, it takes up the space of the same number of blocks as the dirt or the glass, so it's still the same problem about interfering with growth. But here you can see the water come down and it can do its thing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it like this for a bit and see what kind of growth I can get with this thing in the way. The other alternative, oh, and by the way, I have -1 tree here now, because there's no room for it unless I shift it over. So I'll have to think about that. I could shift both trees over by one just so that they're symmetrical, but of course these two then would be closer, and I don't know if that's going to inhibit growth at all. But the other thing I thought is that rather than have all that vertical space taken up with that stuff, is that maybe I could just pipe it in from the side. I could just pipe it in from like over here, come in like a little aqueduct that just ends right here, and then pours its water right here. Now it'll still interfere with the tree that used to be here, but at least this way there isn't all this vertical space that's taken up with this sort of dead weight here. So yeah, so I'm going to live with this for a little bit, see how it goes. All right, hold everything. Hold everything. I just can't leave this alone. I tore down the fence post here, and I had a thought that is kind of builds on that aqueduct idea that I had, so that I can still have the water up here in the middle here. But I thought I might be able to use pistons still in order to create an aqueduct here that can pop up and then when needed, and then it can go back down into the floor when not needed. And so I was testing this part out here. If I can get the water, I think this part would be easy, because I just need to open up this so that the water can fall down here. And if it falls down here, it'll go 7 blocks, and then on the 8th block it spills over, and that creates the spread. In fact, it's larger. It's even larger than the previous one, which is actually better because it kind of pushes everything out to the outer edge. Well, I think it's better. I don't know. Maybe that's not really super relevant. But that's all that really needs to happen is this. So let me grab this water block back. So yeah, all I need to do is have the water spill out from here, which is a piece of cake, and then I just need this this trench to come up into place. So I also made this level, so I don't have that little up down nonsense anymore. But let me pop up top and show you what I was playing around with. This is the basic idea here that I was fiddling around with. It replicates what I was doing in the temple spawner. Of course, having that piston be put in front of this here. This is using that technique now where the repeaters are pointing to specific ones, which is a very useful thing to know now that I know. But this is the double high portion, and of course it's easy to do a single high portion. These have to be gravel or sand, though. I can't think of them a way to make them anything other than that without like being crazy complicated. So it's because when they go down, all the blocks have to go all the way down. So at least for the double high ones, it's going to have to be gravel. Now the middle ones might have to be gravel if I need to get the piston far enough away so that there is no redstone interference. That's an option also, is that I could have the piston, 10, well maybe not 10, I could have it 8 blocks down, and it could push the gravel up, in case there's any kind of weird crosstalk with the redstone. But so I want to see if I can make this arrangement happen down in the tree area. Alright, so here is a row of pistons, which in and of themselves are kind of an interesting floor pattern design. But I think I want to try to preserve some of the... oh wait, I need to make these sticky if I'm going to have these pulled down. Right. Well, maybe... let me try it with gravel first, just to make sure that the thing works before I make a whole bunch of sticky pistons that I don't need. So that's that tier. I got a piston installed right over here, and it's pulling that block up. And let's see, it's all gonna go crazy, but that's what's supposed to happen there. It's on a sign. Sign here is just so that it doesn't run backwards over here, but I don't have to build the wall out, so the sign allows for that. So let me see if I can get access then for the two side channels here. So I'm coming up here just to take the water out of this this one here, but look at the size of this tree here. A nice big tree. Both of these happen naturally. You know, when I had the fences going all the way down, I think it really was inhibiting the growth. Even with bone meal, I was trying to hit them with bone meal, and it just wasn't working very well. But and actually, those were the specific trees, the darker, you know, evergreen trees, whatever those are, the pine trees. I think those need a little bit more specific space in order to have their little leaf arrangement. I could be wrong about that, but it felt like when I had all the, you know, the darker saplings down there, they just weren't springing up very easily. Here now are this middle row of gravel. These are all in the engaged position. So now I'm going to change this switch so that it begins to work on this new setup here. Alright, well, I've been spending a bunch of time working on this, and I think I've come upon at least 2 bugs that have been rather cumbersome. Having the 2 pistons next to each other, and then what's going on with these blocks here, sometimes the timing gets kind of wacky. It just doesn't seem to be working reliably. I tried it with a block buffer like you see here with the yellow and the orange, and then I also tried it with just the repeaters pointing directly. And apparently the repeater, when the repeater is down at this level, like if there was one right on top of there, that was activating this here, which is odd because I thought it only did it forward, but what do I know? But look, I got a magic trick for you. Watch this. See this column right here? Sticky piston here, normal piston here, and I've got 3 blocks of gravel on top. Okay, because that's the whole idea. This is going to go up 2, and then it's going to make a wall that's too high up above. So watch that. There's going to be a little bit of manipulation here first. Again, kind of inconsistent, but watch this. Okay, so that's kind of messed up, right? Because they didn't both extend. So let's undo it. Ta-da! The amazing pass-through gravel block. Let's see that again. Right. So it just... the 2 are still up here, but the 3rd one passed through, and then of course when I have to go fix this, these stay stuck and blah blah blah, and that doesn't seem right to me. But yeah, while I was trying to figure out why that was happening, I did go up here on the surface. Let's see, what time is it? It's getting dark, but maybe you have time. Let me get to the surface. Okay, so I was trying to figure out, you know, what was going on with that, and so I discovered this little tidbit here. So 1 thing of gravel, but let me put 2 more. Now, I read somewhere that if you move the piston over and over again, it'll break the block into something that you can collect. But this is what I found happening here. Smoosh! It is gone. 1 out of the 3 has disappeared. That pop that you heard was me picking up the torch, so that doesn't count. So, well, let's do it again. Smoosh! It is gone. See, there's the torch. And nothing to pick up. It has destroyed that block. Now with just 1, it's okay. It doesn't do anything bad. Oh, Yeah, I broke that. Okay, well, you get the idea. I didn't try this with sand, but I presume it's going to do the same thing. So that's a little annoying. I think that one is a bug. I don't know about the other one. Maybe the other one, I don't trust my wiring, you know, to really be able to definitively say, oh, that's a bug. But yeah, I tried looking at a couple videos, and I looked in the wiki just to see if it was called out. Oh! What? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Must make more light, I guess. Oh, brother. Okay. Wow, that was a first. I don't know where. Maybe he spawned up here. You know, I have heard walking, but it's been in surrounding caves. It wasn't here. Oh, look at this mess. Well, okay, so I'm all like nervous now. And I still hear steps every now and then. There. Oh, making me crazy. Oh yeah, it blew out this hole right here. This hole doesn't belong here. He had quite a blast radius, this one. Look at this. Jeez. So, what I was going to say before I was so rudely interrupted was that I think I'm just going to go ahead and make the arrangement with just a single thing of gravel, so that the gravel rises up to the second level, but the piston plunger itself is part of the wall, because I think I can get that to work reliably for now. And then later, if that bug is fixed, maybe I'll adapt it. So let me fix this nightmare here and see if I can get that to work. So here's something that I just actually heard mentioned on another video, and I'm afraid I don't remember exactly whose it was. It might have been Tavi Rider, but he was talking about making a one-way door or one-way opening, and this builds on this that effect that I pointed out earlier, where you can't walk in this direction through a repeater. So see, I'm trying to walk forward and it won't let me, but from this side you can pass through. So maybe there's some kind of interesting functionality there that you could do, maybe with mobs or something like that, as long as they can't jump over. You got this one-way access panel here, access threshold. There we go, an access threshold. Stupid creeper also blew off my switch. Grr. So I just watched the latest episode of Co's Quest 160. Always a treat. Co-star, Coestar, on YouTube. And He mentioned something in passing. He was working on a cobblestone generator, and he mentioned something about when you make something with repeaters, sometimes you have to save the game, exit, come back in before it'll work properly. So what I was noticing is that the right half of this was working when I came back in, when I resumed my session here. So I went ahead and I put this back the way that it was, and it took a while for the things to get in sync there because there were some pistons that just weren't moving. But now I did one last oh, I love passing through blocks near Redstone. I did save the level and come back, and now it seems to be working. Oh dear, I hope that didn't mess it up. Let's see. Let me connect it to the above ground switch now. It's getting dark. Let's see here. Well, that's what's supposed to happen right there. I went ahead and wired the piston that's here behind this wall. This is the door that opens, and I wired that. I just tapped into this end right here where all these other repeaters are, and it seems to be working now, like this. And then, good thing I put this hole right here, huh? Otherwise, that salt would have poured down there, and I would have been sad all over again. When it goes away, kind of like that. So I actually only need to fire this for just a second. And then that way up above it's all clear. And if I've got a bunch of stuff, like, let's see, like now some of it may land on parts that are part of the mechanism there. Let's see here. Well, let's do color. So I can walk around and pick this stuff up, but then I can hit this. Let the water flow for a little bit. And then walk the circle. And this one didn't flow because it was on top of that, I think, so yeah, okay. And you know what I could do also is that this middle row here, well, you know what? I was going to say I could make those sticky pistons so that I can make them match the floor, but they're actually this this stack here, this stack of gravel here, so I'd have to actually rewire stuff, and I'm not going to do that. No! No, besides the creeper's just going to show up and blow the whole thing up anyway. So anyway, so this is a little, you know, this is the result I was shooting for, so success. It is a little pesky dealing with these weird piston bugs, and hopefully that'll get worked out sooner or later, but for now I think this is going to bring to rest this little variation, and this time I really will just sort of leave it like this for a while. And once again, thanks for putting up with my stumbling around, and thanks for watching.